How you doing, guys? It's Eric. This video is about something I've been thinking about over the past few days after seeing some comments on some of my videos and a few things online, and that is, as preppers, do you really need a gallon of water a day? Is that more than you need? Is that not nearly enough? Etc. So, the first, easy kind of non-answer is that it just depends. There's no number that you have to have, to be able to consider yourself prepared. I mean, obviously, if you have no water, that's a problem. You're not prepared. 3 gallons or something like that, yeah, you're not prepared. But it depends on what you're going for, and it's just as with any other prep, the more you have, the better. But at some point, you're just reaching diminishing returns. I think the gallon a day per person is a good benchmark. It accounts for being able to drink, being able to do a few small other things. Obviously, if you want to be able to take showers, do a lot of dishwashing, clothes washing, pets, if you have livestock, you're going to need a lot more than that. But it is a good benchmark for purely drinking. I think if you're really just talking about pure drinking, in most climates, most people don't drink a gallon of water a day now. And even if your level of activity was a lot more, which, again, that's something that people always bring up, like your level of activity is going to be a lot higher, but that's not necessarily true, especially if you're in like a city type situation and not in a homesteading type situation. If you're just have 6 months of preps, and some crazy shit starts happening and you're not bugging out, you're probably just going to hunker down and be sitting on your ass most of the time. I mean, I can't imagine what you would be doing. You might be fighting zombies or whatever, but you're not going to be gardening. You're not going to be taking care of livestock. You're not going to be doing a lot of walking, hopefully. If it's something, there's a lot of situations where you might just want to stay cool and stay where you're at. That being said, it doesn't hurt to have more water. I have one little bottle here that this is kind of another tip. I don't normally use these for storage, but I keep them to shoot as targets, and when I shoot them, I fill them up with water because it makes them more reactive to explode. So I figured I might as well store them full of water because they take up the same amount of space, and it adds just a little bit extra to my preps. So another option, too, is if you can't store the water, at least have an option for purifying it. Because when I was back in Florida, I had the IBC totes full of water, and it's a couple barrels, and that was a lot of water. But also, I was not at all worried about finding water there. It rained almost every day during the summer, and even during the dry months, there's ponds and lakes, and you could dig into the ground and probably hit water at about 6 feet. So it would be super easy to make a rudimentary shallow point well, sand point well, something like that. So yeah, storing water is necessary, but for me, it was more important to have water purification methods. Like you can have this Catadine filter or Berkey up there, and I think I had some other. You got bleach, you've got the iodine tablets. I had a Life Straw, but my derpy dog just ate it. It's a brand new one, and he decided he wanted to chew it to smithereens. Luckily, they're only about $15. But something like that, all those options are good, especially for bugging out and things like that. You can't take, if you want to be able to bug out for, a long journey, potentially, you're not going to be able to just carry all the water you need. So you need to be able to find it and purify it. So I think that's, obviously, you want to have both those capabilities. Try not to ramble too much, but I do think the gallon a day is a good benchmark. I think if you have the capability, there's no reason not to do more than that. But I think you should feel very comfortable that if you're not in a homesteading situation, the $1 a day, especially if you're talking about a few months or less, is not going to be a big problem. Because if you have to cut back on your showers, or washing clothes or washing dishes, then for a few months, that's not going to be a big deal. And just know about the options for getting water. I'm in the desert now, so I'm going to have to increase my water supply. I just recently found a place to get more of these barrels and everything. And I had one of these that I'm getting a couple more of these because this one actually sprung a leak on me, which is very rare for these, but this is an old beat up Army one that I think I got from, they're getting rid of from one of my old units. And it's not even a big crack or anything, but somewhere on the bottom, water is just like seeping out, which is bizarre. I think it just got gouged from something just a little bit too deep, and which is a shame because this is a solid, sturdy can. So there might be some way to patch it up or something, and just keep it on hand. Maybe use some JB Weld or something, but I don't know if that would be safe with the water. But I got a couple more new ones of these coming. I found a place to get some more barrels because here, as opposed to Florida, there is not a lot of options for collecting water. It doesn't rain all that much. The groundwater God knows how deep you would have to go, and it's rocks and everything else. There are a few spots of natural water. There's actually a spring out in Red Rock Canyon, and but I imagine that if something crazy happened, a lot of people would be flocking there. So I'm gonna have to store more water on hand, and I honestly don't have enough right now. That's why I'm looking into getting these barrels and stuff. But that's going to be my benchmark. I'm going to use the dollar a day for the gallon a day for 6 months and try to for 2 people. So that, I mean, honestly, that equals like 360 gallons. I'm nowhere near that. Even after I get a couple more barrels, I'm not going to be at that. But, you know, purely drinking, if we have to stop washing clothes, so be it, you know, until I can get up to that. And so there's some other things I'm doing that I've talked about in older videos to not have to use as much water. One of those is things like keeping paper plates and disposable silverware on hand. If you don't have to wash any dishes, that's going to save at least a little bit of water, or much fewer dishes. And things that wouldn't otherwise matter in a situation like this could make a big difference. So yes, to answer the question, I think it's a good benchmark, but absolutely it's not some written in stone rule. If you just have to evaluate your situation. It might be nowhere near enough. Obviously, if you have 6 dogs and 2 horses, a gallon a day is not even going to come close to what you need. And if you are just yourself in an apartment in a big city, as part of your bugging in plan, I think a gallon a day would be plenty, even for washing yourself and your clothes and all that other stuff. Because obviously you wouldn't be taking full-blown, 45-minute showers, but you could wash yourself a couple times a week with a little tub of water, washing clothes, washing dishes, and drink on a gallon a day in an emergency situation. Absolutely. Now, and you might be, struggling for space too, so you can't just store all the water you need. So let me know what you guys think. If you think the gallon a day is plenty, not nearly enough, and how you think you're going to handle it for your particular situation. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later.